What's up, guys? Gramje here, and guess what? We're installing a fuel pump. Now, this may not be a one-day thing. It may not be a two-day thing. Obviously, when you watch this, it's all just going to be one video. But here's where I'm at so far. I've got the car in the garage, all right, and I've got the fuse box ready for the fuel pump relay. I've got the gas as low as I could get it. I was trying to basically drain it until it stopped running. It's going to be tough. It's hard to gauge. So I've got it to where it's been on, like, 3 lines low on gas for the last 20 miles. I don't know what else to do. So I'm going to basically walk you through how I got to where I'm at to pull the fuse box out. I'm going to pull the fuse box out, pull the relay pull the fuse for the fuel pump, and then we're going to just decompress the lines, get all the pressure out of the lines, and then we should be able to tear it into the back seat, get the old fuel pump out, so on and so forth. So basically, here's where I'm at. And all right, so basically I had to take this panel here off, right? And then the panel here that covers the battery. So this panel here that sits right over here over your cabin filter, it's held in by these clips. Just be a little careful when you take these out. They just come out one at a time. You can grab here and pull it out to get that off. And then that and the battery cover are held on by these fasteners. Real easy, just get a flathead under, pull them up, and then take them out. If you break any, no big deal, they're cheap. You can get a big bag like this on Amazon for like $5 or less. So really handy stuff. So basically there's these are all the access points for that weather stripping that I just showed you, and then you've got a series of clip points where these clips go in. So you just pull them all out, and you can get that out, and then you can get the battery cover out as well in the same fashion. No big deal. So once you're in the fuse box here, there are these 2 retainers, that guy and that guy, and it's sitting in here, and these retainers clip into these little squares. You press them down and pull it up. And once you do that, you can pull the fuse box out a little bit and get access to it. So I'm going to pull that out right now and remove the fuel pump fuse, and then we're going to drain the lines. Alright guys, so this box was a little difficult to get out. There's this wiring harness. I don't know if you can see it right there. That wiring harness right there, that basically is kind of tucked underneath this bracket here. So you just want to kind of finagle it out, and then you'll get access to your fuse box. There are 2 clips on the bottom, and then 1 clip up here on the top right there. So you want to get all of those off, and then you can pull this thing off. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done right now, and then the fuse for the fuel pump is right there. Pretty easy spot, kind of a bitch to get to, but here we are. Alright, and there we go. We basically just pulled these 2 up, and then it came off that way. So there's no way you're going to get that done with this in the car. You might be able to, but not with the battery there. So I went ahead and did that. And then the fuse we need to pull is this one. So I'm going to pull that, and then we're going to go try and start the car and kind of let the gas just run through the system without the fuel pump on. After that, we're going to remove the battery, the negative battery terminal, and remove all power from the car so we can get access to the fuel pump. Alright, top fuse is out, and now we're going to attempt to start the car. Alright, I think it's out. Yep, completely out of gas. So that's what we wanted. I'm basically gonna remove power now and push the car into the garage, get it situated, and it's just gonna be sitting here from here on out. So let's go ahead and get everything put back together, get the car rolled in, get the battery disconnected, and then I think we should be good to go. I shouldn't have any reason to access that fuse again from here on out. So I'm gonna get it in the garage, put it back together, and then yeah, 3, 2, 1, bam. All right. Battery's disconnected, everything's put back, we're good. We're gonna roll the car in now. As you can tell, there's a lot of garage space to work with right now. We're gonna roll it in, and then I'm gonna work on getting that back seat out so we can get the old fuel pump out. Alright guys, car's in the garage. Wheels are chalked. We got just enough room for the garage to close. This is kind of what I wanted. I wanted maximum space in here because I'm going to have this door open. And then obviously when we're going to install the supercharger kit, it's going to sit right here. So I've got enough room to work right here. And I know it doesn't look like a ton of room, but once it's jacked up, you'll be able to fit right there comfortably. We'll get the front bumper off and everything else, so should be plenty of room to work. We got tons of room over here, and this is where the car's going to sit probably for the next couple of months. Honestly, this project's not going to be quick. I've got a lot going on right now, but I'm happy to finally get started. So next thing, I'm going to get that back seat out. I'll try and film that for you guys, and then we'll take a look at the fuel pump area. I may not do it today, but it's irrelevant because it's going to be done in this video one way or another. Alright you guys, back at it. New day. Got all my lights on. I actually made a mistake. Before I pulled the seats forward, I unplugged the battery, so I wasn't able to move these. So I had to plug the battery back in and get them moved. So now I'm going to get this seat out to access the fuel bucket and the fuel system. And I'm going to try my best to film that. So we'll kind of see how I need to posture the camera for that. And I'll attempt to get that out and we'll go from there. So actually guys, was unable to film that. I don't think you wanted to see that anyways. I was really struggling to get these things off. It took me about a minute. I started on this side and I basically just gave it a couple of jolts up until I heard it click. And then did it once more and it came out. Same with that side. So now we should have complete access. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this seat out and then we'll take a look at what's underneath. Alright, so seat's out. I've got it right there for now. I may end up covering it with plastic or something just because I don't want any bugs to get in there. I like to take care of my stuff. So here's what we're looking at inside. Get a little privacy lamp. So these were the clips. As you can see, nothing's broken. There's no real way to undo them without just pulling on it. So the fuel pump's going to be here, passenger side, and the access point should be pretty straightforward. It looks like we're going to basically align these little slots, pull this top hat off. Underneath we'll have the wiring harness, and we'll get the actual harness. So we're going to get under here and we'll take a look at what that looks like. I'm kind of curious why this is red, because the car is black. You can tell it's been painted black, but I guess that's to identify what's there. Anyways, alright, I'm going to get into this and we'll show you what's next. Alright, so each of these clips are Phillips head. You want to be careful with this brittle plastic, so I used a larger size Phillips head screwdriver. And you turn them as if you're tightening. So it's a little counterintuitive, but you want to righty-tighty them and get them all lined up. And then this should pop out. And there is the fuel bucket, or the fuel hat to the bucket. There's the fuel line right here. And this is the harness. So I'm going to get this unplugged. So this harness goes up through here, through the lid. I'm going to get it unplugged, move this out of the way, and then we'll have access to the fuel system here. I'm going to clean this area before I even open it up, but this is your fuel tank. Again, I'm on the passenger side. So let me get this clip undone here. It should be pretty straightforward. Yep, here we go. That is out of the way. And now we have access here. I did already depressurize the system. You guys saw that earlier. So this should come off, maybe have a small amount of drips, nothing major. But I'm going to clean the area first. So let me get that done and I'll be right back with you. Alright, so we're cleaned off for the most part. Now you have to pry at these two connectors here. And you hear that click. So this line is loose now. It should be depressurized because I just took care of that earlier. So I'm going to basically just keep this covered in case there's any fuel that comes out and pull this away. So we got a little bit of gas there, but nothing major. So that's why it's important to depressurize this line before you tap into this. So make sure you get that done. We walked through it. I can smell gas now. It's not. It's manageable, but if this stuff sprays everywhere, you're gonna have a bigger problem on your hands. So let me go ahead and get this area prepped, and we're gonna take off these. Looks like Phillips head bolts that hold this retainer on, and we'll be right back to do that. I'm gonna cover this up in the meantime to avoid fumes getting everywhere. All right, guys. So I got a little work light in here, just to make things a little bit easier. I used a glove to basically keep all the fumes from getting out into the car, so I should be fine there. It wasn't too bad, but these are number 6, and I'm basically just going to take these all off, and then we should have access to the bucket. I don't know if I'm going to tackle that just yet, but I kind of want to get access and take a look at what I'm working with. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen everything up and take a look, and I'll be right back with you to show you what that looks like. All right, I actually lied. 6 was a bit too big, so right now I'm using, I believe this is a 5 or an 8. Oh, so I was using a 9. I'm sorry. So 9 was too big. I'm using an 8. An 8 got these loose, and then I just finish it off with a screwdriver. I'm going to go grab my magnetic tray to keep all this stuff. Anyway, let me get this apart, pull the bucket out, and we'll take a look at it. So now we've reached a point where this is coming up, and there's a little sensor in here, like a leg, a float that goes up and down to tell you how much gas you have. So we've got to get it out in such a way so that is not getting caught on anything. If you feel resistance here, you need to stop and reevaluate what you're doing. I'm not sure if I can capture this while I'm recording, so I may just pull it out and go from there. Also, there's a little O-ring right here, you guys. That needs to be taken off and rinsed and then set out. You can't let that get soaked with gas, or it might make the O-ring swollen, and then you won't be able to get it back on. So there's a little assembly there. Here's everything we're trying to get out. Most of the gas is gone, but there's still a good amount of gas in that tank. Wow. This goes to show you when it says you're on empty, you're really not. I was on E for a while, and it looks like I'm not sure where that lever is. Let me get this out, you guys, and then I'll show you what's next. Alright, it was a little more difficult than I thought it would be. Make sure you wear gloves, guys. I didn't wear gloves, and by the time I got it all out, I had gas all over my hands. I had to pour gas outside, because obviously I couldn't really do much in here. So there's this one hose right there that connects to the side of the basket. I'll show you where that connects. You gotta get that unplugged before you can pull it out. Once that's unplugged, you kind of have to pull it out, and when you hit that little empty or full lever or sensor, you have to kind of angle it to the side and pull it up and out. So if you feel resistance, try and work it back down and then move it back out. I would have showed you guys an actual rundown of that if I could have, but I'm just a solo filmer here, so I couldn't do it. This is the O-ring I was talking about. I'm going to go inside and wash this off. I don't want this to swell. We want this to be able to put everything back together when we're done. So now that we're done in here, still a good amount of gas in there for being on empty. But now that we're done in here, I'm going to put this lid back on and just try and keep the fumes from, getting into the cabin of the car. Obviously the garage is going to get fumes, so I may do something to cover this up, but I'll get there in just a few. Alright, so here's the fuel basket that we pulled out. That connection that I was talking about was connected right here. And to get that out, you have to depress these two clips like that, and then the hose that's in the tank comes out. Then I took it out by pulling it up, and then when I felt resistance, I tilted it to the side to pull this lever out as well. So we're done. This is the assembly here. This is what it looks like. I'm in a 2012 G37 coupe. So next thing is kind of working on the fuel pump system, getting that all done. So I'm going to reseal the car, and then we'll take a look at this. But first I got to clean this area up. So 3, 2, 1, boom. All right, so we're cleaned up now. I've got basically the car sealed up for the most part. The gas tank is still open, but I've got it somewhat sealed. So the garage smells like gas, but there's no fumes getting into the car. It's been like that for about a day. I put everything on hold just because I need to understand this more. But I did reference some peers of mine and look at the materials that came with the CJM return system. And you know, kind of got a good idea of what I need to do to get this guy done. So I'm going to kind of break it into two parts. I'm going to get the new fuel pump installed, which is this guy right here. It's an Aeromotive 340. And after I get that installed, then we'll do the return system. But first I want to get the pump installed. So the car may be like this for a week or so. We're about a week away from Christmas, so I need to get this done, make sure the fuel pump is installed properly, and then I'll work on getting into the top hat and then doing the return system, you know, through the entire vehicle. Once that's all said and done, then I'll put it back together. We'll check for leaks and we'll go from there. But this is not going to be an easy task. I've never done anything like this before. So this is probably going to be kind of a montage over the course of a few weeks to make this complete video available for you guys. So bear with me. Obviously you don't know that because you're watching the video, but here we go. First things first, it says we need to start disassembly. We're going to remove the sensors from the canister, polarizer. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get these sensors out. We're going to get some of these plugs undone, and we'll get the top hat off. So I need to make sure I have a good idea of what wire goes to what. And we'll go ahead and document those now, and then reference them later when we need to. It looks like the fuel pump itself is blue-green, or I'm sorry, green-black, and these are actually pretty thick gauge wires. These are the same gauge thickness as the new fuel pump. So green and black, and they go right here. This looks like it goes to the sensor, the temperature sensor, and the lift, the level float. And then we've got a red and an orange here. And those are... Okay, so red goes here to the lift, the volume sensor, and then orange goes down here to the temperature sensor. So let's get this stuff off, and then we'll zoom into the next clip. But I'm going to do this off camera because I'm only one-handed here. So I'm going to get this part done, and then we'll be right back with you. Oh, and just so we're all on the same page, this is a fuel level riser, guys. So this is a fuel level riser. I've been calling it the wrong thing forever, whatever, but we're going to get into taking all this off right now. We got the fuel level riser off. It basically hung on right here. Well, the other way around. Basically hung on right here, and then it clipped in right there. So it goes up and clips, and then you release the clip here, and then it slides up and off. So that's that. We're going to get this sensor off, then we're going to follow these wires back, respectively, and then unhook them from the top hat. Here's another view. I've got that thing off. That just came off from here. I tried to be careful with this. It's, you know, it's malleable for the most part, but it'll pop right out. Then it was, the wires were held together right here, came up and around through here, and then up. So this is what I'm looking at. So on the side where I've got two prongs, it's orange on the left, red on the right, and then the double ground wire here, which is the farthest to the left, black. Those all need to come out so that I can pull these pieces off the assembly itself. I believe they'll just pull off, but I'm going to use two hands, and I'll be right back with you. Alright, so I got all these off. Make sure you press the small release here. You see that little tab right there? Background is killing me here. There's a little tab. You see that thing? You push that in, and that'll release the terminal. So I don't believe there's any manipulation that has to be done when you put it back on. You guys, I know I haven't filmed this whole process, but it was a little challenging. To get this little retainer off here, I actually had to kind of pry it back a little bit, and then I stuck a nail in between this retainer and the the actual rail itself there. And the size of the nail is right there. So this little nail got behind this thing in order to get this clip off, and it took me forever because I didn't want it to break. So I got that off. I've got the spring off. I removed this piece. So this piece kind of goes right underneath the fuel pressure regulator. It just I kind of rocked it back and forth and it came loose. And then this was clipped right there. You can see that little retainer right there that gets clipped on that piece right there. So that came out. I got this out, and then I've got this assembly. So I'm going to stop everything right here. I'm going to have to come back to this another day. I'm running out of time, but this is kind of where everything is right now. So I'm going to put some pieces upside down that I don't want to get contaminated with anything. I'm going to leave this there. We are going to reuse this strainer on this pump because the one they provided is not going to fit. It will, but not where the pump sits, because the pump's going to sit right in the middle. So there's not enough room, and this thing is, you just can't really manipulate it too much. So we're probably not going to use that. So anyways, this is where it's going to be. It looks like some of the next steps are pulling out the old fuel pump and I think modifying the basket, which I need to get a tool for. I need to get a Dremel. And I need to get some drill bits because we need to drill out the Venturi size there. Yeah, so the idle pressure fix, we've got to basically make this hole bigger, and I'll need some drill bits for that. There it is right there. No big deal. And then this thing. So I need to make some cuts here. I need to get this thing out, and we're going to bypass it altogether because we're going to be putting an external fuel pressure regulator on the vehicle, which is right there. So anyways, I'm just going to stop it right here. We'll pick up soon, and you guys obviously won't be able to tell the difference, but I've got to put it on hold for now. This is going to take more than I'm willing to do right this moment, but we'll be back and you'll see this again. Hey guys, so I'm just going to stop this video now and make this part one. I feel bad about not really detailing how I got the fuel pump to where it's at right now. But basically where the video cut out, I was pushing those tabs to get those connections off, and then I got all those off, and then I kind of further disassembled the fuel pump housing, and it's not done. The fuel pump's still in the housing, but before I tear into it any further, I kind of want to get some tools together. So Christmas is coming. There's going to be a couple of other things that happen before I can get to work again. So I'm just going to leave it right here. This will be part one. It's all pretty basic, guys. I'm following the CJM Fuel Return System PDF, which is available on their website for the S1E. It says it's for the 370, but it's about the same for any of the models, the VQ37, the HRs, maybe even the HR basket is similar. So like I said, I'm just going to stop this here. I wish I could be more instructional, but I'm kind of just giving you guys the step-by-step that I'm taking to do this. And again, a lot of this stuff is very simple once you get in there and understand how the system works. So video 2, we're going to basically remove the fuel pump, put the new fuel pump in, and then kind of modify the fuel bucket to spec or to fit for the return system and everything else. I'm hoping to be a little more instructional there, but again, I'm a one-man show, and I'm trying to put this together as best as I can, so hopefully it helps. But if you got any questions, feel free to drop them, and everybody have a great Christmas, and we'll talk to you soon.